Hello everyone, it's Lenormand, another LenorMarch video. Haha. I will touch today on the questions for day 7 and day 8. Again, a little bit, we would say in German, Knoten in der Zunge. Something like a knot in your tongue. I will touch on the rider and clover and the ship and the house. I just finished videotaping the next episode for Fabulous Lenormand, what was quite challenging because of the lighting conditions here, and there's also some noises going on, and I found out that it's a bit difficult for me to zoom in with my smartphone because not so much that the zoom in was problematic, but the sound changed with that. And I had to film certain parts of the video again. So this was a bit frustrating, actually. But nonetheless, if you hear some noises, this is also something which annoys me this week. If you will hear some noises, kind of bumping or knocking or something like that, the neighbors here, there is something again. Neighbors here are, some neighbors here are renovating their, I don't know, bathroom or the whole flat, I don't know. They're doing some new stuff and there are some annoying noises going on, and something which not annoys me but worries me a bit is when you perhaps hear a bit something like a cough or coughing. It's my dog, because I guess Lily has, again, certain issues with her, I don't know how you call it at the moment, entzündete Mandelentzündung. I will put it in here. She has probably a Mandelentzündung, but I have some syrupy, herbally treat for her, which you can give children, a herbal syrup. And I will treat her with this one, but she's still quite okay. She's still quite, she's bored again after having lunch. So you can maybe hear her a bit, some kind of mourning here, or some kind of sounds she's making because she's bored. But back to Lenormand. The rider and the clover. I quite like the way these are depicted here also in the Dondorf Lenormand. I don't like the big borders here. I guess I will cut them away. This has gorgeous blue backing, but I saw in Kelly's video was also quite nice backing. So this kind of deck is, I guess it's existing in different types of backings, so to speak. The clover here is not so much my favorite because it looks a bit like needs some more water to get into full bloom or something like that. It looks a bit worn out. So today's question was talk about what these two cards mean to you, and then answer the question, what is a message that came to you in your life that brought you some luck and happiness? Okay, I really had to think long about that, because sometimes, this is the thing with the clover, I guess. Sometimes this is something I also touched in episode 2 of my Lenormand series. This is something we sometimes undervalue or we don't value the value. We don't value the small things that happen to us, small things, small happiness that comes our way, that is maybe laying on the wayside, like in the Celtic Lenormand. You can see here in this case here. Sometimes we don't pay attention to these kind of things, and sometimes they also get lost in your memory, so to speak. And so I had to think about that for a long time. And perhaps it's something came back into my memory when I was a child. Something popped up. When I was a child, when I was about 8 years old, I desperately wanted a dog. And my mom was back and forth, but then again she said, okay, maybe we will eventually get a dog. We will search for one, and we searched for one already. We also searched in these kind of I don't know, Tierheim, nursing homes for animals. I don't know. These animal stations, we also looked in those, but there was no dog, and it was back and forth. And then we discovered some article in a newspaper about newborn dogs, newborn puppies that you could get fetched near our town. And we just wanted to, this is something where I really have to think hard about, because sometimes you mix up memories and don't know how the facts are really going. And I guess it was that we were already searching for it. I don't know. I guess we talked to the owner of the mama dog, and she told about the price, and it was not expensive. It was fairly, if I can say that, fairly cheap for nowadays. But back in those days, my mom was a single mom, and she had to watch every penny, and so it was a problem, because it was, I guess, some kind of middle of the month or so, and she said, okay, I don't know if we will be able to fetch a dog because we don't have the money at the moment. It's not much spare money for this dog. But and here's what came. This is something a neighbor from upstairs heard about, and heard that I desperately wanted to have a dog, and then she came down and gave us the money. She lent us some money and said, "Okay, you can give it back to me next month." So I was able. This was okay. You could say maybe this was more than just a small piece of luck in terms of the outcome, so that I had a dog, but this small piece of luck in terms of money, in terms of the opportunity that I was able to do more with it. So you probably could lay down more cards here, like the sun or something like that, or the bouquet or so. But this was something I was able to do with the money that I got from this neighbor. And we just got there, and we searched for I guess we searched for a female dog, and there were two female pups and one male. And I guess the male was not on sale. Rhymes. And there was this was a mix between a poodle and a tackle, and they were mainly black, but the one that I got was what we call black and tan, this kind of black with this creamy, with a bit of creamy fur to it. So creamy parts of the fur had that color. I guess maybe you saw a picture of my dog, of my first dog in one of my videos on my my mood board for Sowin, where I had her on. So this was the first dog I got, the first real dog I got, because the real one for me. We had one before when I was about, I guess, 5 years old, but we had to give him her. It was her. We had to give her away because she was attacking me, and this very first, very short time dog, we had to give her away, but she found a new home with someone who was a hunter, and this dog was a hunting dog actually. But this one I got, the dog which I grew up with until I was 20, I guess 20 or 21, was Monja. This was her name, Monja. And she was a faithful dog, and I really loved her dearly. And this was a bit of small happiness at first, which bring a long-term happiness in this case. Something else, maybe I will remind something. I will remember something differently or different. But at the moment, this is the one thing that popped into my head for that. Yeah, the house and the ship, or the ship and the house in this case. What did we have for this day? Ship and house. Talk about what these two cards mean to you, and then answer the question. What is a significant move that you have had in your life, and how did that impact you? Yeah, I guess the most significant move was when I moved from my hometown here to Hanover, which is now, I guess, oh gosh, how many years ago? 13 years, 13, I guess 13, 14 years. Yeah, maybe 13 years ago. And this was after the death of my mother. So I wasn't able to stay there much longer. The flat we were living in was too big for me and too expensive for me. So I had to move. And I wanted to move to the city I was studying in. So it was the next big city, and to me, it was a big city. Sometimes people here, people tend to, sometimes think a bit poorly about Hanover in terms of size. We certainly can't compare with Hamburg or with Berlin or Munich or so on and so forth. But to me, this was really a big move, because this other town I was living in, it was a quite small town, and I guess maybe 40,000 people are living in Peine, which is this town called. And in here in Hanover, I don't know. I really don't know how many people here are living, but it was certainly bigger one. And but I was really quite happy with that move, because so many more possibilities. I really loved the first thing I remember, which was quite wonderful, was that you don't have to walk far to be in nature or to have some feel of nature. I had a forest quite nearby my flat, and the other thing which was also quite wonderful was that we have so many libraries here in Hanover, which I still love, and every part of the city has its own library. And I guess the first time when I was here in Hanover, I traveled with the tram to every possible library we have here in Hanover. So this was one big move for me. So something I wanted to share with you is also something I found quite a while ago on a website. I guess not so long ago. I guess possibly in January or so, when I started to get interested into Lenormand more and more. And I found this interesting website, which is called, maybe some of you know this already, carrieparis.com. And she has a printable Lenormand deck for free on her website. Now, this one here is only black and white. The one you will see in the PDF, I guess, no, it's not a PDF file, because it's images. The one that you find on the website is to some degree in color. It's some kind of vintagey looking, this kind of brown tones. The only thing that is in color are the symbols here, the playing card symbols for that. But mostly it is this kind of sepia tones to it, and mostly black and white. But because I have just a black and white printer, I just printed it out in this case here, and in this type of form. And what you also can see, but this is difficult, maybe when you have a good printer you can read it more easily, but there are some descriptions on the cards, like here on the tree. I try to focus, but it's not so easy. There you can see medication, treatment, sickness, health, a lengthy amount of time. I guess it's boredom, I guess, and so on, so for growth. It's hard. Maybe when you have a better printer with more high resolution, maybe then it's easier to get a glimpse of the keywords. But you can also perfectly ignore them. Actually, I found it not so easy to print them bigger because, as you can see here with the Dondorf, as you can see, this is already quite big. So you could easily also make it smaller and just ignore the rest here and maybe put some tape on it or something like that. But it's quite a nice feature here. So this kind of vintagey looking, I guess it's quite clear. Okay, the lilies don't look white in the original one. And you also have some spare cards here to put on your own symbols, maybe. Maybe you want to bring some extra cards to it. But this is quite an easy way. Of course, you can also buy playing cards and just write something on it. But this is also quite a nice way to get a nice Lenormand deck for free online. And the only thing that you have to do is print it maybe on cardboard or something like that, a bit of harder paper or so. Maybe I would cut them and glue them onto some cardstock or so. I don't know. I don't know if this is still easy to shuffle. Maybe nothing for riffle shuffling or so. But still a nice thing that I wanted to share with you. I totally forgot to bring this up in a video before. I only found it on my smartphone again and thought, okay, I have to share this. So I will put also the link in the description box so you can find this easily. I also want to share with you something I'm up to at the moment in terms of learning the Lenormand. Maybe this is just a thing that I'm, as a beginner, try to wrap my head around. And because Lenormand can read in such a linear way, and like a sentence, I sometimes try to do something like that, like doing it in kind of backward way. So I read a sentence and try to rebuild that sentence with Lenormand, with a Lenormand card. Or I hear about a certain topic or a certain thing that happened to people or something like that, and I try to rebuild it with Lenormand cards to get a feeling for this. Maybe, I don't know if this is a really correct thing or so. I just try to be playful, and because it's so literal and so like putting words together, it's a bit like, I don't know how is this the same name? Scribble in English? This kind of game where you place basically or you build words with these kind of little stones or beads or something like that. So I saw this, I came up with this when I prepared for the last episode, for the third episode of Fabulous Lenormand, and wrote a sentence, or I was reading something about that we are quite often searching for a goal, for something, we are on a journey, on some kind of a life journey where we seek for our destiny or so, for our destiny. And so I thought, okay, maybe this one here would be quite fitting, the star for searching our destiny or our journey towards our destiny. And sometimes on those journeys, it's also, those journeys are hard, like I also told in the video before, in the Fabulous Lenormand video, about when you traveled with ships, that there were some hard times, and where maybe sickness, maybe pirates, maybe storms or terrible weather. Sometimes, these travels are troubled, and there are obstacles in your way. Sometimes you have to decide which way to go, if it's the right way. So which way to go, you have to make a decision about that. Like I told you, sometimes there are obstacles in your way. Maybe sometimes you also experience dark times. So there are some, you don't know really where to go. And sometimes something that I forgot to put in is something like this here. So you search for your destiny, but it's a long and winding path. You have to make decisions which path to go. There can be obstacles in your way, as well as dark times. But you make those through it. So I have to see which card may fit. But you could also say you will try to find the key towards this kind of transition to find happiness. You could also take the Sun card. Maybe the Sun card is for this kind of thing, a bit more powerful or so. So this one. This is maybe quite not a poor example of this one, but maybe you get where I'm aiming for. So what I'm trying to do with this kind of backward, yeah, not backward, but yeah, backward kind of getting to grips with Lenormand, with this construction of sentences. This is something I really can think that you maybe perhaps you just open a book or something like that and read a sentence or so, or something where certain things are happening, and then try to rebuild these sentences with Lenormand cards. So there are certainly there are some mistakes in this, so I could switch some of them and make more sense to it. But I guess you get what I mean with this one, and I find it quite useful. Yeah, try to make sense to Lenormand and the system of Lenormand. For me, it makes sense to me, and yeah, get more experience with the cards. Like I said, here is perhaps or quite possible a lot of mistakes in this one, but it's a useful thing for me, at least. So I hope you find it at least a bit helpful. We will see us in the next video. So I wish you a wonderful day or a restful and peaceful night. Bye.